Why did Battlefield 2042 have to suck is a question that I've been asking myself every single day for the past 2 months since the game came out. I really thought things would be different with this Battlefield title, especially whenever you consider the fact that they decided to just put other games on the back burner like Need for Speed that EA has been developing for a while. EA took multiple divisions under them and just put them on the Battlefield 2042 project just for them to come out with this game. It is a complete disaster right now, and I for one am at my wit's end. I don't know if I'll be playing Battlefield 2042 in the future or if I'll continue making videos on it. I had so much hopium that this game would be the game that defines Battlefield and bring us back to our roots from Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 that we were all collectively hoping for. No one expected to get this game. Every time I boot up and play a game of Battlefield 2042, I immediately regret the decision, and I just don't know how much longer I could take it. It seems like there is such a big disconnect between what the developers are doing and what the fans have been wanting for a while. They say the expectations are brutal for our demands, but the reality is we haven't been waiting for a month to play this game. We've been waiting for 3 years to get another Battlefield game. They literally turned off the support for Battlefield 5 and even Battlefront 2 just to work on this game. And with the last patch notes confirming that we're not going to be getting another update for BF 2042 until the middle of February, I think I'm pretty much done. I don't know if I'll be making other videos on Battlefield 2042 unless something significantly changes, but I would have to inject myself with a high dose of copium to even boot up the game and play it. I'd like to give you guys a quote that sums up my experience with this game, and that is from the Joaquin Phoenix Joker film. I thought Battlefield 2042 was a tragedy, but now I realize it is a comedy because this game really is a joke at this point. And obviously we shouldn't be sad because this is indeed how it works sometimes. It's been done time and time again with previous EA titles like Battlefront 1, Battlefield 5, Battlefront 2, and now Battlefield 2042. It's just a never-ending cycle. Now, I can't lie, I do have some hope for the future, especially under the new leadership of Vince Zampella as well as Mark Leto. Those two are industry leaders and they know what they're doing, but their efforts in righting the ship for the entire franchise is not going to be fixing anything in the interim with Battlefield 2042. Obviously, crunch is a thing, and I think all of the developers see the writing on the wall that things are not looking good for this game. And I think we're all collectively waiting for EA to shut down the support like they did with Anthem. According to Tom Henderson, they said that it took EA/BioWare 10 weeks after the release of Anthem to even acknowledge its problems properly. We've just passed week 9 since the global launch of BF 2042. I wonder if we hear something soon, which I think it's safe to say that at this point I am done with an apology. I don't really care for one anymore. They got my money. Hopefully they do with it well. That likely won't be the case, but I digress. According to another Tom Henderson tweet, he said that Santa Boris wasn't a bug. It was actually their full intentions to add that into the game, which gives me further confirmation that none of the stuff that we've been saying about this skins and how we want them to look has even been considered. Now, sure, I am happy that it didn't get added to the game, but this also further confirms what I said before, that there is a clear disconnect between what the developers are doing and what the players want. They say they listen to feedback, but it feels like it's going in one ear and out the other. The last update did literally nothing to solve any of the problems that we've been having. If you play on console, good luck trying to find a 128 player server. Even on PC with crossplay on and off, it takes just as long to find a match. Battlefield 5 has officially taken over in terms of player count on the game, which is great for EA, not as good for current players of Battlefield 2042. Currently, there's only 6,000 people on BF 2042 on the Steam charts, with 18,243 on Battlefield 5, and even Battlefield 1 has 7,100 people on the game. You know, that little game that came out 5 years ago, which is a pretty wild stat when you put that in perspective. Now, obviously, Steam charts are not the entire picture. You've got the EA/Origin client, as well as Game Pass that features these games as well, that are not publishing stats. And that's not even to mention the console numbers. So I'm sure BF 2042 has got a lot of players on it. It's likely got more on BF 2042 than 5 and 1. But either way, it is a pretty interesting piece of data that I think paints a picture of what the current state of this game is. I'm not a fan of making videos like this one. I actually don't like making bad news videos. I know I seem to be like the bad news guy, but whenever this is the only thing that's happening to the game, there's no updates, there's no developers tweeting about the future, it kind of puts me at a loss as a creator making content on this game. I have already experienced everything that there is to do with Battlefield 2042. I'm at the point where I've used and even overused all of the weapons and specialists in this game. So at this current point, I am just waiting on new content. And I think a lot of you guys are also in that position as well. Going for high kill games is great, but whenever there's no progression involved with that, it almost feels meaningless. There's not a gameplay loop where you get a new gun and you grind that gun out to get the perfect loadout and then you go on to the next gun. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 perfected that gameplay loop. 2042 gave it a try, but kind of failed miserably at the fact that there is only 22 weapons in the game, with half of the attachments added to the game that are pretty much cosmetic, that offer you really no significant change in how the gun performs whenever you compare it to other attachments. One of my other concerns about the Battlefield franchise is the fact that they introduced specialists, and they did it in such a lackluster way that I think it's safe to say that it might be time to actually remove those specialists, or at the very least restrict those to Hazard Zone. At its current state, 2042 feels like it's supposed to be a battle royale game with specialists that are implemented that makes the game almost feel like Battlefront 2042, but even that game had specialists or heroes, but they also had these stormtroopers that felt like how the AI soldiers feel in the current Battlefield 2042. I think the tone for this game would improve significantly if they just gave us the AI skins in favor of the current specialists, but I think it's safe to assume that that will never happen because their goal with the specialists are to eventually monetize them through the battle pass as well as future microtransactions. So we could pretty much let that ship sail now. Now I would talk about the current performance issues that are plaguing this game, but I think we can all agree that we are used to that happening to Battlefield games. Should it be something we normalize? Probably no, but it's a moot point and I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But I do, however, want to talk about the maps that are probably one of my least favorite parts of Battlefield 2042. Battlefield 2042's maps are such a step in the wrong direction that I have no idea what happened. It feels like they just took a blank slate, threw some buildings in it, provided no detail, no cover in the maps, and just had the overall outline of the map completed so they could ship the game and at least give us something. There was no care to these maps that were made. There's no level of details that we're used to with previous Battlefield maps. Furthermore, there's no CQB maps that we've known to love about the Battlefield franchise. If we take a look at the previous game that DICE literally built, that being Battlefield 5, they did such a great job with the maps on that game. I have no idea how the same studio could release something with as little detail or even just the overall thought about how the map design could affect the gameplay than what we have with the current all-out warfare maps. But Wes, if you don't like the maps, why don't you just play Battlefield Portal? Oh, you mean the mode that doesn't have a working server browser and doesn't have persistent servers that allows experienced creators to actually host their games 24/7? Or whenever you go to search for a Battlefield Portal experience, all you see is a bunch of bot farms? Yeah, no thanks, I'll pass on this one. I'll go ahead and download Battlefield 4 or even Battlefield 3 if I'd like to experience older games, especially considering if you look at a side-by-side image of how a Battlefield 3 map looks and then look what they did for 2042. Yeah, nope, I'll go ahead and pass once again. Now I will commend them, however, they do want to get Portal XP right. You can clearly see that with how they did the zombie mode. You know, the featured experience that had max XP, that had AI that you could just mow down and bot farm until your heart's content? Yeah, that one. Joking aside, they obviously want to get it right. They've increased the Portal experience across the board, which is a good initial first step. The next thing I would like them to do is actually give us persistent servers or allow experienced creators that could be whitelisted to host a server that stays live 24/7. It's the least they could do to give us something to play while we wait for the next all-out warfare update. But yeah, guys, overall, I am not happy with the current state of BF 2042. I think we can all agree. I will, however, be covering this game in the future. I'm going to be talking about it as much as I possibly can. I will, however, be integrating other types of content onto my channel, primarily in the form of gaming news. So I'll be covering stuff like the Microsoft and Activision acquisition, as well as other FPS games on the horizon and just other general industry news. If you guys have any suggestions for what games I should pick up and actually play now that I have a void of not playing Battlefield 2042, be sure to leave those in the comment section. Do me a favor, guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not already with your notifications on, and don't forget to check back again tomorrow for another video.